Hello guys, today I'm gonna talk about my Tale of Seven Dragons. And the first thing I want to show you guys is the pedigree map of my dragon family. So on the left side, this is my purebred dragons, and this is the F1 generation dragon, and this is the F2 generation dragon, and this is the F3 generation dragons. And on the right side, this is the make for my F2 generation dragon, and 2 was made it with Johnny on the F1 generation, and Johnny was made it with Young in the purebred dragon generation. Haguru is a F3 generation dragon. He has 10 chromosomes that are homozygous, which means he is a homozygous dominant. Through many generations of dragons in the pedigree, clearly we can see Haguru is a crossbred. He has a lot of traits that came from his great grandpa and great grandma passing to his dad and his mom generation. Haru has 4 beautiful toes in the phenotype, and that came from his mom gene, and the gene is heterozygote, and that are incomplete dominance. Even though he has a beautiful toes, but there are 2 phenotypes that I want to show you guys. So the first one is fire breathing. This is a dominant gene, capital F and little f. Another cool gene is neck length, and it is incomplete dominance, double capital N, which means the parent in the F2 generation, no one have give him any recessive allele. Baby Guru is a homozygous dominant. In the last generation, his dad has given him a recessive allele in a horn trait, and the mom donated one dominant allele, and then Baby Guru now has a beautiful medium horns. He also has a nice medium neck that is heterozygote, capital N and little n, and the genotype is incomplete dominant. Baby Gugu also has a fire breathing trait. It is heterozygote, capital F and little f. So in the next generation, in the neckline trait, Baby Gugu can either share one dominant allele, capital N, or one recessive allele, little n, to his lovely son or daughter. Bubuga has a lot of traits and phenotype that came from his parents, the purebred dragons. Bubuga received fire breathing trait from the gene of his mom and a gene from his dad. They are both heterozygote, but luckily he had received one dominant allele from his dad and one recessive allele from his mom, and he can breathe out fire, so which means he's incomplete gene trait. Bubuga doesn't have any horn because his genotype of horns is homozygous recessive, which means he have to HH. In the next generation, his son might not have any horns, but if the mom could donate one dominant allele, then the baby will have an adorable medium horns. And this Kamikaze, one of the 7 purebred dragons, and Kamikaze came from Japan. Kamikaze is a heterozygote dominant for most of his genes. His color gene is incomplete dominant, which means he has a 2 recessive alleles that are little r and little r. Kamikaze have and he can donate one of the dominant allele that he has from the fire breathing capital F and capital F to his son in the F1 generation. Gugusi is a F2 generation. She was my mate in the F2 generation. Her parents got inspired by a famous luxury plane named Lucy, and they have named her after it. Gugusi is a nice dragon. It is homozygous dominant. Gugusi has a long horns. It is incomplete dominant. It is a combination of two dominant alleles. Gugusi has a homologous chromosome, like color pattern trait came from the gene of the dad and the mom. Color pattern is dominant allele, which means it is capital R and capital R. This red windsurfer. Red windsurfer is a dragon that received the gene from the two Pooh red dragons. Red windsurfer is a F1 generation dragon. She is a heterozygous dominant, as same as the genotype and phenotype from the last generation. Example like the color pattern trait one that she received from her parents. The gene is not codominant, but it is homozygous dominant, and it is exactly like the gene that the last generation had, capital R and capital R. And Red Windsurfer can donate to the next generation dragon one of the dominant allele in the color pattern trait one that she had. And this Saxon Red is one of the 17 Pooh red dragons in the planet X, and it's hard to believe that Saxon Red doesn't have any red color pattern. So the name of the dragon can fully describe how Saxon Red looks. With the color pattern trait one is homozygous and dominant allele, capital R and capital R, Saxon Red would definitely donate a dominant allele to his F1 generation dragons. And chewed eyes is the most important part to understand my family dragon genetics. So on the left side is my Pooh red dragon that affect to the F1 generation dragons. So the mom and dad is all capital J, so there's no possibility for the kid to have chewed eyes. But in the F1 generation and F2 generation dragon, the mom is a carrier. She carry little J, and the dad is capital J. And so in a male there is 50% to a dragon to have chewed eyes, and in the female there's also 50% of female dragon to be a carrier of chewed eyes. And but luckily my dad is not have any chewed eyes. So in the F2 to F3 generation dragon, the mom and dad doesn't have any little J, the carrier of chewed eyes. So my sister would not probably have chewed eyes. So this is the result of chewed eyes. So chewed eye is a sex-linked trait, so only the male has only one allele, only one gene in chewed eyes, and the female has two genes and allele in the chewed eyes. So the period to F1 generation dragon, there's no possibility. In the F1 and F2 generation dragon, there's 25% of possibility. In the F2 and F3 generation dragon, there's no possibility also. Yeah. And thank you guys for watching.